So we're already in February at this point, and I was asked to book an interview date, which I booked for like the next week.
Wait.
If I tell you my childhood ambition, you won't believe it. Thanks.
You guys, I tell you, anybody I bring on this show, they are not small.
Gentle ladies and men, welcome to the Mide Olayiwola channel. This is Expat Experiences. As you already know, my name is Mide, corporate African girl, and
today I'm in the studio with an amazing guest. She's a seasoned business data analyst with several years of experience in client relations and partnerships. She recently moved to Germany through the opportunity card, what you would also call the ChancenKarte, and she's been in Germany, living in Hamburg for a couple of months now. And I thought, this would be a very great opportunity for us to learn how you could, from actually somebody who has moved, how you could actually move from Nigeria to Germany through the opportunity card. And if there are downsides to it, if it is worth it, if it is not, we will also get to know more about her and what she does for work. But in all, I believe that this episode is one episode that you really need to sit and watch. If you know someone who has been trying to get into Germany through the opportunity card as well, you can send this video to them. But yeah, if you were planning to leave before, sit back and enjoy this episode. So without talking too much, please make welcome my guest for today, Ibukun. Hello. Welcome, Ibukun. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
How is winter?
Oof. So the thing is, there is nothing anybody can tell you that actually would absolutely prepare you for it's not even cold winter yet. And nah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Some months ago, I was telling someone about, winter and all that. And they came into Germany in summer. And they were like, oh, but you were always saying this. I'm like,
right. I also arrived in summer and I was like, it's not that bad. It's not, but now
it's bad. Okay, so getting into it, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, and when did you move to Germany?
Okay, my name is Ibukun Adeleke. I currently work as head of client operations and partners in a tech company. Essentially, I have years of experience in customer-facing roles. So I've transitioned from doing sales, doing customer success, doing retention, to now doing client operations and partners. I mean, I get questioned, what does client operations and partners mean? Right. So think of it as a role that covers the entire customer journey. So from sales to support to retention to the entire customer happiness. So everything that handles customer advocacy also internally, and then partnerships as well, going beyond just customers and all of that. Again, I work in B2B, so it's a bit different, right? I also have a couple of experience doing, business data analysts, or analysis rather. So in my current role as well, because I work a lot with the customer, I have to also provide insights as to customer activities. Yeah, so that gives me a lot of experience doing data analysis as well. So think of me as a lot of things.
You guys, I tell you, anybody I bring on this show, they are not small. My guest today is not small. Anyway, yeah, you already mentioned, covered some things about what you do, but honestly, I'm curious, what would a normal work day in your life look like?
Okay, so a normal work day would look like, because I cover a lot of aspects, a normal work day would look at, so let me start from a typical Monday. A typical Monday starts for me with reporting. Reporting around, who's looking like they're about to churn, again, because the customer journey, right? Who's looking like they're about to churn? Who do we need to follow up on this week? Where the conversations end from the previous week? And then what potential partnerships are we looking at? So it covers a range of things, right? But I mean, there are other people on the team who covers these different aspects. But then again, because I have an oversight view, I have to cover all aspects of it, from sales to what issues are customers having. How do we make the customer journey better? How are we ensuring that customers are not churning? What offers can we give to our customers to retain them? Yeah, so that's what my typical day is like.
It sounds really interesting. So I digress. I'm going to ask, did you always see yourself in this role, or how did you, get into all of this and, doing all of this again? And is it interesting for you?
So I would say not particularly. If I tell you my childhood ambition, you won't believe it. But yeah, I would say I stumbled here, but I've absolutely loved it. And thankfully, where I work, they've given me the wings to fly. They've given me the opportunity to grow because, again, I got in just doing retention. So I'd gotten in just doing like supports, retention. And again, not to brag, but I would say I'm good at what I do. But
you put in work. I mean,
yeah.
If you were not good at what you
exactly,
did,
they wouldn't have trusted me with so much. So they've given me, the ability to do a lot more that I had gotten in to do. I've been in my current role now for about 2 years, and I've transitioned across multiple roles within my current organization over the course of 4 years. Right, so it's been beautiful growth. I've had the opportunity to do a lot more. I've been given the leverage to just ensure that customers are happy, ensure that we're making revenue, ensure that things are going well, and thankfully things are going fine. So yeah,
amazing. Okay, so let's take it off from you recently moved to Germany. When did you move to Germany? Why Germany, and how?
A couple of reasons. So I moved to Germany 5 months ago. And I had moved through the opportunity card, the ChancenKarte. And why? Germany is, again, I didn't want to go to the UK. No shade to those in the UK, but I didn't want to go to the UK. And again, we know how it is getting into the US and all of that. So I wanted a country that had great financial stability, not economical stability, rather, that had great economical stability, and also would give me the opportunity to equally grow, right? I wanted to also do something internationally, right? And because I didn't want to go to the UK, I thought, okay, what European country could I go to? Shortlisted a couple of countries. Also because, again, there are some other reasons that I wouldn't mention, for choosing Germany. But then again, I had narrowed it down to two or three options. I had Malta, I had Germany, I had Italy, right? These two other options required the school route, getting an admission, which, to be honest, I actually got. But again, another reason I wanted a relocation process that wasn't going to cost me a lot. I wanted a relocation process that was also going to not just give me a bit of freedom to work, because then again, I wanted to continue professionally. So that was the main reason why I had chosen Germany at the end of the day. To be honest, I didn't apply for a visa in all of these other countries, right? Germany is the first other country that I had applied for a visa. I didn't apply. I only had applied to the school, gotten the admission, and I just posted there because I was like, nah, it wasn't expensive, but I didn't want to do it at the end of the day. So Germany, I would say, was the first. When I heard of the ChancenKarte, okay, let me pause there. That might be it.
But okay, before we go into that, if, for example, you hadn't come to Germany through the ChancenKarte, do you think you would have considered schooling in Germany?
Maybe. I mean, it would have been maybe my last resort. If I hadn't gotten in through the ChancenKarte, yeah. Again, at the time when I moved, I wasn't in a hurry to move, so I didn't have any pressure. I was doing very okay. I didn't have any pressure to move. I wasn't under any. I didn't have any timelines. In fact, right. So it just happened. I didn't have any timelines. I didn't have any pressure. I didn't have anything like, I need to move this year, or I just want to live here. No, it just happened.
Okay, so now to the main question. Can you run us through the process, from point A? And it would be really good if you could also include timelines, Okay. So maybe when you started, what were the things that you put together, and during the process, and, until the very last.
So the ChancenKarte was announced in 2024. When I heard it, I was like, okay, this sounds like me, because to be honest, like I had said from the beginning, I didn't want a process or a relocation process that was going to stress me. I wasn't up for. So before that, I had tried to do the global talent visa for UK. And when I looked at the documentation process, I was like, nah, not doing this, because you have to show evidence of this. I was just like, nah. I if I would move, I want something that was stress-free. So when I heard of the ChancenKarte in 2024, when it was newly announced, I was like, okay, cool. This sounds like something that was stress-free and very straightforward. So I applied in June, 26th of June to be precise, of 2024. But at the moment, they weren't processing any requests. So there was just a wait list. So I joined the wait list on the 26th of June. And that was it.
Sorry, I will come in sometimes to ask you some questions.
Sure.
Through the German embassy in Lagos. Or how did you get on the wait list?
The wait list was on the ChancenKarte website.
Okay.
Right. So there are like certain questions that it would ask you, things like if you're a graduate, if you have, years of experience of work, because again, ChancenKarte allows you to come in to look for work. So you have to have, a degree. If you also have a bit of experience, they would ask, all of those questions, your age. Those are the things, because it's a points-based system. So those are the things that would, count towards your point, right? If you were married as well, if you're single. So I answered all of those questions. It showed me my point, you're eligible, and now you can join the wait list.
Okay. Just before you continue, I think it's important for us to establish what the ChancenKarte or the opportunity card is. It's a point-based system, like she said, that allows you to move from your country to Germany to look for work for a year, right?
Yes,
for the period of 1 year, you have the ability to do anything, like, by do anything, I mean work in any field, but at the end of 1 year, you should be working, you should have a full-time job working with a company, most likely maybe working in what you were working in before, just growing professionally, basically. Yeah, so that's what, I'm correct.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, so you can continue. After you joined the wait list.
Yeah, so after I joined the wait list, it was crickets, silence, nothing, right? Up until January of 2025.
Wow.
So that was like more than 6 months. So I was there. I mean, again, it was new at the time. So I had even forgotten I was on a wait list. I had moved on. I was just, doing my thing. All of those months had passed because, again, they weren't processing any requests. They were still trying to establish the system, for approving the visas, trying to build out a platform for it and all of that. So the German system wasn't even, it wasn't up at the time. So January came, 25th of January, or there 24th, between 24th and 26th, I don't remember the exact date. But January of 2025, I then get an email to say, you were on the wait list, please create an account and upload your documents. I was like, okay, let's go. So
what documents did you upload?
Yeah, so I created an account. So they then had a dedicated portal for it. So I created an account and immediately uploaded my documents. Now, what documents were requested? Firstly, it starts from your birth certificates. So it's like showing your journey as an human.
Yeah.
Right. So I uploaded my birth certificates to show that, of course,
I'm a human.
Right. So my birth certificate, my primary school certificate. Again, because it's something that allows you to come to look for work, you have to show your track of education. So my primary school leaving certificate, which I didn't have, I had to go back to my primary school. My secondary school, that's your WAEC for Nigerians, so you're quite familiar with what WAEC is. For WAEC, and then my bachelor's, right? So you have to show that you have gone to school and acquired a degree, right? So after that, you also then have to show like proof of sustenance. So proof of sustenance can be 3 options. You have the blocked account, sponsorship letter, and a part-time job offer. So for blocked account, of course, you have to, put in some money into an account. Again, I was looking for, something that was, good, easy on my pocket. So it helps if you already have someone who is in Germany and has a full-time job that can stand in as your sponsor. So thank God I had that. So I got that as my proof of sustenance. And then you'd also have to upload things like, I went the extra mile. I uploaded things like my CV. I also uploaded a recommendation letter. Again, where I currently work, I carry them along in my entire process to say, I'm moving. I'll need a recommendation letter for this process. And gracefully.
They were
kind
really
enough
cool
to
people.
right? They were kind enough to give me a recommendation letter to say, oh, this person has worked in this capacity in this role, and we can, vouch for their capacity to excel in similar roles if they move to your country. So I also had that. What else? Yeah, and then your passports.
Did you need German?
No, absolutely not. I didn't upload any proof of language. There wasn't any requirement for proof of language. But again, if you have it, it's great to upload
add to the point.
Yeah, to add to your point. So I uploaded that, and in less than 24 hours, I got a response that the names of one of my documents didn't match. Again, that's a different story. So I had to go get an affidavit. Oh, another thing I added or uploaded were other certifications that I had acquired. So they are not compulsory, but they are just advisable to show that you're a professional in whatever you do.
Makes your application stronger.
Exactly. So I uploaded other certifications that I had, also acquired at the time. So I had to go do an affidavit and upload it because my birth certificate had like a different name from my passport. So I had to go get, what's it called? Affidavit. And I also got, there's a name they call it from the NPC. But so I had to get that to, just support my name, difference. And again, in about 24 to 48 hours, I got another response. So this entire process of me uploading my documents took me 2 to 3 days, like a week, right? For me to get the documents, it took me about 48 hours. And for me to get a response of approval of the document I had uploaded. Again, the form on the portal also has some other questions, like what do you do? What industry do you work in? What industry do you see yourself coming to work in? And all of those kind of questions. You would also put in a lot of data around your name, your parents' name, your parents' data, all of those things. So just to, show that you have a lineage, of course. Right. So all of those documents, I uploaded them, did my correction, uploaded them. After a week of that back and forth, I got another notification say, oh, your documents have been approved. Please book an interview date. And I was like,
really?
This is so cool.
This was February.
Yeah, at this point, we were already in February, right? Because it took me like a week or two to, put all those corrections together. So we're already in February at this point, and I was asked to book an interview date, which I booked for like the next week.
Wait.
I know, right?
The interview, oh my God.
Yeah, interview dates were available. I had to refresh the portal because sometimes you might not really see dates, right? But I was booking an interview on a Friday. I got an interview for the next Tuesday, I think.
What?
Right.
Hold up. You know why I'm so shocked? Because I know that for you to get an appointment at the embassy. German embassy, especially in Lagos, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I think it's more difficult than I cannot even compare.
Yeah, people are on the wait list for 2 years.
Difficult.
So.
And it's not just for. It's not for the opportunity card. It's for you trying to move as a student. It's for you trying to get a family reunion visa. Like it's a lot. It's almost impossible. So now you're saying that like you were told to book an appointment and like in the next few days you got an appointment.
Absolutely.
It's like mind blowing.
Yeah. So the entire period from getting the email to upload my documents to me attending my interview was less than 1 month.
Jeez.
It was less than a month. I mean, the timelines are different now because there are a lot more people.
Yeah.
But at the time, again, I'll classify myself as the
one
first
of the
set.
first.
Yeah, so it was quite fast, right? So I got an interview date. On the day of the interview, I went to the embassy with my document. Again, you would only be required to come to the embassy with your originals because you've already uploaded, the scanned copy and all of that. So you only need your originals of your birth certificate, your certificates of primary, secondary, and uni, other, certificate that you might have, and your visa fee. That's all, right? So I got to the embassy, got in for my interview. Again, you go through the regular process at the entrance of the embassy. When I got in, they asked me questions like, why Germany? Again, you have to show that you know where you're going, right? So say a little about, the country you're going, why you've chosen the country. I was asked if I could speak German, and I had said no because truthfully, I didn't know how to speak German. I was just learning. So I was still on like A1 level, which I explicitly stated. And yeah, again, I would say I was first there because when I even got in, surprisingly, the visa officer who had attended to me wasn't quite sure how to process it. Right? So she had to bring in like a colleague to say, oh, what are we doing here? And they were quite helpful, to be honest. The other colleague came in and was like, oh, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to collect. So they took in my originals, took in my, biometrics, just asked me a few questions. Why Germany? What were you doing here? What kind of job are you going to look for? Again, because the ChancenKarte is only valid for 1 year. So they also asked questions like, if you are not able to get a job in 1 year, what are you going to do? What happens? Yeah. The right answer is you're going to come back because, of course, that's the expectation that you have to come back to your country. So, yeah, the interview was very smooth, very easy. I had my interview and I went back home.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, did you submit any documents on insurance, health insurance, or travel insurance or things like this?
Yeah, I skipped that. So, yes, you also have to get health insurance prior. I had gotten one from AXA Mansard from Nigeria, which surprisingly was allowed. But I think at the moment, they would usually require one from here. So there is a particular platform that people buy their insurance from here. But yeah, health insurance is also, let me see, am I missing out anything else? Health insurance is also
You
very
uploaded
important.
this with your documents?
Yes, I uploaded it with my documents. I was also required to bring it with me to my interview. And also, again, of course, your proof of sustenance, you have to also have that. So you also bring the original emphasis. That's a mistake that a lot of people make that I've seen. They don't go with the original documents. So yeah, or your originals as well. Very important.
Okay, so now let's go back to after you finished your interview. What?
Ooh, that was where my long wait then happened. So for some reason, my passport didn't get back to me until June.
Wow.
So I waited a long time. I was getting, anxious, like, what's going on? Did I not upload something? Well, I had called the embassy, like, my feedback, please. But yeah, I didn't get anything for a while. Sent a couple of emails, and then sometime in May, I got an email to. At that point, I just, okay, whenever you want to give me back my passport and my certificates, please do. But yeah, in May, I got an email asking for some clarifications on some of my documents, which I had sent back, and I got my passport back in June. 20 something of June, I think 26th of June, which was about exactly 1 year I got on the wait list, right? So I got my passport back in June and I arrived in Germany in July.
Oh, amazing. Hey, what a long, interesting run.
Okay, well, I think one other thing I missed out is address. Address is very important. So you also have to show where you're going to be staying. So you have to provide address. Typically, if you have a sponsorship letter, you can easily use your sponsor's address. However, for people who are using blocked account, you also have to provide an address.
What does this mean? Does this mean that you need to get an accommodation before you leave your country, or you can give like a booking.com hotel?
So you can also use a bookings.com. I've seen people who used a booking.com and it worked fine. So you have to show evidence of the booking that you've made for the period that you'll be arriving. And also one of the questions on the form is your expected date of arrival. So you have to put in the anticipated date that you want to arrive. So your booking must show, must be effective from the dates that you filled in that you want to arrive in Germany.
Amazing. Would you say that anything has, changed over the couple of, you left summer this year. Let me not say summer this year, between, say, February when you went for your interview and now, do you think anything has changed, with the process? Is it slower? Is it faster?
Yeah, a lot has changed, actually, with the process. So at the moment, the wait time is longer. What this means is I had waited about 24 hours from when I uploaded my documents, or when I was asked to create an account to when I was able to upload my documents. But at the moment, it takes about 3 to 4 months, if not up to 5 months to get that done, because the number of people on the list are increasing on a daily basis. So the earlier you get on the wagon, the better, right? So aside that, another thing that has changed is there is now a new requirement during the interview that requires you to write an exam. Depending on your course of study from your bachelor's degree, you'll be required to take a short exam testing your knowledge on what you had claimed to have studied, right? So if you had studied physics, for example, you'll be given questions from physics. If you had studied engineering, you'll be given maths questions or engineering related questions. If you'd studied economics or you studied English, you'd be given question in your course of study as well. So yeah, those are the two things I know that have changed at the moment.
Okay, amazing. Now is the time, as you're watching this video, whenever this video is released, if you want to move to Germany through the opportunity card, you should pause now, come back to finish this video. Pause now, but try to get on the wait list as soon as possible, because today is just the best day for you to apply, and just stay on the waiting list. So what do you currently do? Did you move with your job still intact, or are you doing some things right now in Germany? Or I want to understand how it has been for you work-wise.
Okay, yeah, so I did move with my job because thankfully from Nigeria I had worked remotely. So it was quite easy to move with my job, still intact. So I still do my job 100%. And at the moment I'm integrating as much as I can, learning the language, which is very important, and then just trying to find my footing as best as I can, right? So I still do my job on a daily basis because again I work remotely, so it gave me the freedom to continue my job from wherever I am, and I'm learning language, integrating, getting to know my environment, and just finding my footing in my new country.
I mean, I think this is actually really good if you're in your home country and you have a job that's very flexible in terms of, the time zone Nigeria and Germany is like 1 hour at the most, so 1 hour difference sometimes, like during summer, and then the same time zone in winter. So if you have a company that is flexible enough, allows you to work remotely, I think this could be a really good opportunity for you, because you're just basically still living your life, still getting your experience is still there, you're still learning, still working, your brain is still active, it keeps you on your toes, and it helps you on the long run. Okay, so a lot of people say things like, it's not worth it, to come to Germany through the opportunity card because it's difficult to get a job in Germany, and like the 1 year period is too short. A lot of, different things online, which sometimes I understand where they're coming from, but it's good to ask you because like you're the one wearing the shoes basically. Do you think this journey is actually worth it? Do you think it's worth it for professionals to actually, maybe professionals who want like international experience, to move through the opportunity card to Germany? Do you think it is a total waste of time, or do you think it is actually worth it?
I would say it's worth it, 100%. So the reason I would say that is, of course, it's a different terrain from what you're used to. It's a different ball game from, whatever country you've been in, but it's a different level of exposure. It's a different level of, if you like challenges, if you like, to experience new things, if you want to really do stuff, Germany is really good. There are a lot of jobs, right? Again, I'm wearing the shoe, like she rightly said. So I've had encounters with different types of applications, different processes. The interview process here is a bit different from Nigeria. You would see the evidence of them tasking your ability, right? It stretches you to be sure that you are a perfect fit for the job. And it's really interesting because it then goes to show that you have to actually prove yourself that you know what you're doing. So if you're very confident in your ability in whatever field you're in, then Germany is the perfect place for you.
Amazing. I totally understand and I can relate. And sometimes you go through like different stages of interviews. Sometimes it includes you doing a case study. They want to know how you reason. They want to know how you work on the job. And so it is what a lot of companies actually do in Germany. And like she has said, to her, she's wearing the shoes. It's very worth it. If you're somebody who likes to try new things and you've been looking for an opportunity to move outside of your environment, I think you should try this. And Of course, in the description, you're going to find our LinkedIn profile, so you can just slide into a DM on LinkedIn, ask her questions if you want to, and, she will readily, be available for you and answer all of your questions. Okay, so to the very, my final question for today, I'm going to ask you, again, I asked before, how is Hamburg treating you and all that, but I know that you've not exactly started working full-time in Germany. You're still doing your work from back home. However, I want you to tell me what you see yourself doing in a couple of, say, in another 1 year. Where do you see yourself working, and how do you think that the workspace in Germany is going to feel like to you?
That's really interesting, because it's a all different culture from back in Nigeria. So back in Nigeria, you have like this communal culture where, everybody is like, "Ooh, we're a family here," bro. It's a whole different ball game. Here, you're here to do your job and to do it very well, right? So I see myself again already doing, some good work, an extension of, what I already currently do. And because the cultures are very different, I'm also, learning how to adapt to the difference in culture, the difference in work culture, the expectations, when you're here, and also learning to like understand how to be at your best, how to be very optimal, very productive, again, because it's a different ball game from the way I would relate with my co-workers in Nigeria is not how I would, relate here. There are boundaries, there are things to understand. So I would say in the next 1 year, again, because I'm at the moment trying to integrate, learn the culture, learn the language, learn the way of life, I would see myself being, at the point where I already understand it. Again, it's a continuous learning process, but understanding it well enough to function optimally, be well productive in the, in the workspace, right? And
Amazing. Okay, so I said that was my last question, but I just remembered one. I want to ask you this. I know that you've been maybe, applying and, sending a lot of applications. I don't have access to your email, but I know for a fact that you've probably gotten 1 or 2, unfortunately.
1 or 2, more like 100.
So just to manage expectations, like I want you to also tell someone who is possibly looking to, maybe they've even gotten their visa, and just to know that the rejections might come, but, there is light, just encourage somebody.
I would say, okay, for me personally, I've applied to, you don't want to know how many, right? But at the same time, as much as there have been rejections, I've been in different interview processes, right? I've gotten through stage 1, stage 2, seeing, done case studies, because in Germany, there are different stages. Again, in Nigeria, you probably do 1 or 2 interviews with HR, and then maybe they see you and then you get the job. But here, you have to prove yourself. So I've been in a couple of interview processes. So what I would say is cast your nets as wide as possible, because as many jobs as you apply to, because you get rejections. Normal, it's part of life, right? So if from, let's say 20, 30 unfortunately you get at least 1 or 2, let's meet you, let's have a conversation, right? So cast your net as wide as possible. That's what has been working for me, to be able to get into, as many processes as possible, as many conversations, meeting as many people as possible. Also, try to meet people, make connections, right? Apply to as many as possible, and prove yourself, right? Be confident in yourself, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Ibukun. If you've been following me, maybe on social media, or you've been following this show, Expat Experiences with Mide Olayiwola, you probably have heard me 1 or twice talk about rejection is just part of it. I mean, it's normal. Let's put it that way. And it's a game of numbers. You're not the only one applying to that particular position, right? Sometimes AI just filters. It's not whether you're not good enough. It's not whether your CV is not good enough. It's just the system sometimes, and it's not personal, right? So sometimes when you get this rejection, the rejections will come I know this. So there are people, I've been living in Germany for almost 8 years, and I know I still get rejection every other day, because it is just what it is, right? So if you're getting these rejections, maybe you've just moved to Germany, or you're planning to move to Germany and you're getting rejections from work or like from your job applications, know that everyone gets this. So that makes you feel a little bit okay. It does not affect your self-esteem. Even
it's not you, it's the system.
It's not you, it's the system, right? And like she says, like I also mentioned, it's a game of numbers. If you apply to one job, there's a high probability that you are not going to get an interview. If you apply to 200 jobs, there's a high probability that you get lots of interviews, right? I know that it's not easy, but you can do it, right? You came all the way from Nigeria to look for a job in Germany, so you can do it. So again, thank you very much, Ibukun. This has been an amazing, amazing, amazing episode. Just to summarize everything that I've gotten from today, you've mentioned that if you're trying to move to Germany through the opportunity card, go and get on the waiting list today. Another thing that she has mentioned is she talked about rejections. She talked about, you get rejections, but the fact that you get interviews also makes the process worth it. She also mentions that it's a really, really worthwhile journey to come to Germany through the opportunity card, and don't necessarily feast on the negativity and the negative experience. Someone wearing the shoes is saying that it's worth it. So yeah. And she also mentioned to us what she does in her everyday job. So if you're looking to get into client relations, you're looking into getting to B2B partnerships, she's your girl. Please. She's the head of client relations and partnerships at her company, so you should know that she's not small. So there are so many things you can learn from her. Anyway, so thank you so much, Ibukun.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I am looking forward to having another interview with you very soon, and
Absolutely.
it would be talking then about how you're navigating corporate politics in Germany.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm wishing you all the very best.
Thank you.
I'm saying thank you so much.
It's been an exciting conversation. I've had a great time.
Okay, so again, if you're joining us for the very first time, remember to subscribe. Remember to also share this video, like, and drop your comments. Ibukun might respond to you and answer some of your questions, so drop your comments. Okay, thank you so much, and I see you on the next one.
Thanks.
Ciao.